me, Jennifer. I'm afraid to speak in English. I'm afraid to make mistakes. I'm afraid that my accent's too heavy. I'm afraid that I won't know what to say. I'm afraid that the other person won't understand me. And I'm afraid that my English isn't good enough. I hear comments from students like this every day, and honestly, it's really upsetting. I don't like hearing these comments, and I want to help everybody overcome that fear because I know how terrible of a feeling it is to have those feelings when you're thinking about speaking in another language. I've personally experienced that with the first language I learned. Thankfully, I was able to overcome my fear of speaking a foreign language, and I now feel confident speaking any language despite my ability to speak that language. And I want to help all students feel more confident as well. And in this video, I'm just going to share one quote with you and some examples that I hope will help you the next time that you're feeling any of those negative feelings of fear, struggle, or frustration. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforrestenglish.com, and this channel is dedicated to helping you sound like a fluent, confident, natural English speaker. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now, let's dive in with this video. If you're afraid to speak English in public and use your English outside of the classroom or even inside the classroom, first of all, just know you're not alone. This is a feeling that I would say 99% of language learners face. But this is something that you can overcome. You can overcome this fear, and honestly, overcoming this fear is necessary if you want to be successful as a language learner. You won't reach your goals, your fluency goals, if you're not able to speak in English. You need to be able to speak in English in a variety of different settings and situations, not just the classroom, in order to be considered fluent and in order just to live your life as an English speaker. Now, I came across this really great quote that I want to share with you and hopefully will inspire you. And that quote was, "You need to rise above fear." You need to rise above fear. Now, I really like the wording of this quote. I really like how they said you need to rise above fear. So here's what I want you to imagine, okay? I want you to imagine that fear is right here, okay? And right now, you're right here. You're at the same level as your fear. So that fear is impacting you. It's impacting the decisions you make. It's impacting the confidence that you have. It's impacting the thoughts that you have as well. So you're at the same level of fear. Now with this quote, it's saying you need to rise above fear. So when you rise above it, you're here and your fear is right there. And at this point, when you have risen above fear, you're no longer being impacted by your fear. So what does that mean? It means when you think about a situation, like let's say you think about going to a networking event, okay? And you know at that event you're going to be introducing yourself, meeting people, and speaking. Now, your decision to go to that event is not influenced by your feelings of fear of speaking in English. If you're able to make that decision without it being impacted by your fear, then you've risen above your fear. Now, here's what I love about this quote as well. It doesn't say you need to get rid of your fear. It doesn't say you need to eliminate your fear. And I think that's a very likely situation. You can go to that networking event, you can go to a job interview, you can go to any social situation, And you can speak in English while you still have feelings of fear. You can absolutely do that activity. There's nothing, there's no rule that says you can only speak when you don't have fear. That rule does not exist. That's a rule you're placing on yourself, and you can just simply stop doing that, right? So again, your fear is here. It can still exist, but you're up here and your fear isn't influencing or impacting your decisions. Now just imagine when you're on an airplane, okay? And then the pilot comes on the intercom and he says, okay, everyone, we're going through a patch of turbulence. I've put on the seatbelt sign. Everybody sit down and put your seatbelt on. So you're going through this turbulence, it's a little bit bumpy. And then all of a sudden, the air is smooth again, right? What happened in that situation? What happened is the air right here is bumpy, right? And you're a plane, you're going through it. At that point, you're at the same level as the turbulence and you're impacted by it. But then the plane, all it does is it goes up a little to get out of the turbulence. The turbulence still exists. When you're on a plane and all of a sudden it's smooth, the turbulence is still there. You're just not impacted by it because the pilot has changed their direction. They've probably gone a little higher up, or maybe a little below, or maybe a little over. They've done something to get out of the turbulence, but the turbulence is still there. That's the image that I want you to keep in your mind when you're thinking about your fear. So the next time you're in a situation where you're about to speak in English and you have this fear, have that fear and rise above it. And how do you know when you've risen above your fear? Well, it's when your fear is no longer controlling your decisions or controlling your actions. So you're able to make decisions based on what you think is the best course for you, not simply because you're too afraid to go into that situation. So write this quote down, write it down. You need to rise above fear. Write it down, put it somewhere visible, maybe on your computer or beside your bed, your mirror. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. And just remind yourself every day when you wake up, remind yourself, today I'm going to rise above my fear. And then make the conscious decision to follow through with that. So remember, you can rise above your fear. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. Now, before you go, make sure you head on over to my website, jforrestenglish.com, and download your free speaking guide. In this guide, I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. And until next time, happy studying! All right, you got this. You're a rock star. I know you can rise above fear, and I can't wait to hear your success stories of speaking English in public. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.